Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you guys are doing good. I see a few of you have logged in. Thank you so much for being so punctual. Great. Great to see a lot of you there. Perfect. So we were discussing on chapter number 2, that is competitive strategy, and we studied really good concepts in the last session, right? Wherein we were talking about how to develop competitive advantage, what is competitive advantage, right? And what are the 3 steps, 2 crucial important things that you would need for competitive analysis? How do you do a competitive analysis? What are the different things you consider for your competitive strategy? Right? A lot of things we discussed on that. Great. Hello, hi. I see a lot of hellos. Good, good, good. Any questions, any doubts from the last session? For I'll take around a minute or so. I'll see if you guys have any doubts there. Right, probably we'll see if any doubts on that, and then we will move on to start where we left in the last session, that is value chain analysis. Right, a really interesting topic. Really interesting topic. Good, good. Okay, I think there is some issue in the question panel. Let me check. Just give me 30 seconds and checking on that. Now, perfect. Perfect. All right, I see a few questions. Good evening to everyone. Good. No doubts. Thank you so much. Okay, Shannon says Happy Teachers Day. Is it Teachers Day? No, ma'am, I'm not sure in which country. Or is it already? Is it today or is it tomorrow? So yeah, I think for tomorrow we get. Are you not able to hear me? I think others are able to hear me. Probably some problem on your side, Sushi. Right? Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we have a question from Ishika. She's asking, if core competency we need customer value and not value for money, what's the use for competency when people don't find value for money, right? Okay. Or do we need both for core competency? Right, so that's a wonderful thing. But to you is we are studying about core competency, wherein we understood that core competency is part of your competitive advantage, right? And competitive advantage is anything that is valued by the customer. And one of those aspects of what customer values is value for money, right? So that this is basically the part of the entire gamut of things wherein we're talking about what customer values, right? We're talking about what customer values, and one of those things is value for money. One of those things is value for money, right? Just change the color. Here we go. So value for money is one of those things that the customer values, right? Yes, it is tomorrow. So I think thank you so much for wishing today itself. Tomorrow probably it's a Sunday. You guys will be enjoying, and I think most of you will be watching the new web series that is out there, Money Heist, right? If you're interested in it, or probably otherwise you'll be watching Tarak Mehta because that's there the entire day. Great. So let us straight. Good to see no doubts so far. Everything is clear. Great to hear that. Let us quickly jump into value chain analysis and what is it all about, right? So yesterday or in the previous session, we studied about competitive strength, which is based on value for money. When the customer sees there is value for money, we took example of restaurants, we took example of mobile phones, any example wherein value for money is there. And remember that value for money is subjective. For someone very rich, the concept of value for money is very different from what it is for others, right? So that is how value for money is. It is super subjective for who considers what as valuable, right? You might consider isolation, living alone as valuable. Some of your friends might think having a lot of friends is valuable. So the value proposition is different for everyone, right? So that is the challenge businesses face day in, day out to ensure that value for money for their market, for the people they target as customers is ensured, right? Okay, let us jump into this particular graph, or I could say this particular diagram, which talks about two things. You have to focus on two things here, right? Forget about how difficult it looks. It's super simple. Okay. Now hear me out. Two kinds of things you have to understand. One is support services, and one is primary activities, right? Now, primary activities, but the word primary means main, the main activities of any business in general, the primary activities, right? And there is something called as your support activities, right? Primary activities and support activities. Now, how are they different? Just look at the diagram. Number one, PA1, that means primary activity number one is inbound logistics. We'll come to that. Number two is operations. Number three is outbound logistics. Number four is sales and marketing. And number five is service. Okay. These are five. These are five primary activities. And there are four support activities which help the primary activities, right? Which help the primary activities. Okay, now how do I understand value chain analysis? How do I understand value chain analysis through this diagram, right? Now you have to understand one important thing, that value chain analysis can be ensured, in any of these activities. You can ensure value for the customer. You can ensure value for the customer, for the prospective market through any of these primary activities or even supporting activities. We'll come to the examples very quickly, but let us understand what these activities actually are. Okay. Now, listen to me. First is inbound logistics. Inbound means coming in. That means purchases. Anything that is related to purchase, bringing that material to your factory, or taking any services. The purchase part of your business is inbound logistics. Generally, okay. Generally. Second is operations. When you purchase something, you convert that into finished goods or finished services, right? You purchase, you work on it, you make something, right? You purchase, you work on it, you make something. That is operations. Then you sell it. You send it to the retailers, you send it to the customers. In online business, you send it to warehouse sends it to the customer, right? That is outbound logistics. It's going out, right? Number four is marketing and sales. To make sales happen, to make people aware of your product or service, you do marketing, you do sales, right? The online Instagram reels is marketing, Facebook ads, television ads, radio ads, print ads, like door-to-door marketing, promotional activities, events in your malls, in your cities, and different initiatives, then bringing in celebrities to market your product and service. Everything is marketing and sales. That is also a primary activity. And finally, once you make a sale, you also have to service that. For example, a washing machine in your house comes with a service period of 3 years. That in 3 years, anything goes wrong, the company services. That is an additional primary activity. The service you have to give for that product, or additional services you have to give when you're giving a service. For example, you're a chartered accountant. You give services of, let us say, financial budgeting, right? You're making financial reports for a company. Now they come back and say, we also want a bank loan. Can you help us with this documentation? You will, obviously, that is service, additional services as a part of your primary activity, something more after services, right? After sales also, you might have to give something additional to the customer, that is service. 5 primary activities: inbound logistics, purchases, converting them into finished good, that is operations, selling it outside, selling it to sending it to warehouses to the customer places, that delivery, that is outbound logistics, marketing and sales, we know what it is, and service. After sales, what you provide additional service as, right? Okay. You can create value. You can create value for the customer. You can create value for the customer in any of these activities. How? How can you do? Now, let us suppose you are able to purchase at a very less cost. Now you can sell it at a very less cost, and the customer might feel, all right, I'm getting good products at a very low price. That is value for me. That is value for money for me, and I will create value for the customer. Operations. You put in so much money, so much fund into your research and development, into innovation, that you are able to produce high quality products and services. You're creating value for the customer. Outbound logistics. Grofers, Swiggy says we will deliver in 15 minutes, right? We will deliver the product outbound. They're delivering the product in 15 minutes. Or we will take no questions asked. You can return your stuff within 1 week. Any product that you buy online, you can return it without any cost. That is outbound logistics. Marketing and sales. Now Ranveer Singh starts to advertising a particular brand. People start connecting. They form value for that product. That particular product becomes valuable for them. You're creating a value for the customer, right? Through marketing or through sales. And after services, right? If you give after sales services, you are giving additional services even after you have made sales. That creates a value for the customer, that all right, I am getting additional services, I'm getting additional benefits from this product and service. Thus it creates a value. Now for all these five services that we are looking at in the below part of this diagram, they are supported by four support services. They are supported by four support services. That is firm infrastructure. To have good operations or delivery systems, you need to have good infrastructure. Like Swiggy, if has to give the primary activity of delivering in 15 minutes, or Grofers has to give, Big Basket has to give 15 minutes delivery, they need to have very good technology, phone system, tracking system, around 30,000-40,000 people on motorcycles on the road. They need to have firm infrastructure. That is a support service to the primary activity, right? Human resource management. You need a lot of good people in your company to ensure high quality of these primary activities. Technology development. Without technology, you cannot grow easily. It is very difficult. So technology development is a support service. If you want to, for example, marketing and sales, if you have good technology where you can get insights about how consumers behave, what consumers want online, you can do easy marketing and sales. It is a support service. And then procurement. If your procurement of goods is high quality, it is of low cost, it is easily available, it has good substitutes, you do not have to go for like seasonal things, it is always available, it is available at low cost and good quality. That is a support service, that is a supporting benefit of your primary activities. And you can create value in these support services as well. Ideally, you create value in these five primary services, which are supported by support services or support activities. And you can create value for the customer through all these activities. One single activity, multiple activities, two or three good activities. What are your core competencies, where you are good at, right? So it entirely forms a value chain analysis for you, that where do I create value? Where can I create a value? That is value chain analysis, that you're analyzing that out of these general activities that every business does, where can I create value for the customer, right? Super simple. Any questions on this? I think the diagram looked very tough, but it's extremely simple, right? Great. Wonderful, Shrishti. Good to know that. Aditya writing good evenings. I'm good. Aditya, how are you? Yes, I mean, it's tomorrow. Thank you so much for everyone wishing. Great. Is procurement of fund comes under inbound logistics? I would say no, right? Fund is kind of, I would say, in terms of that is a support service. You can keep it in terms of your procurement only, right? Procurement of funds is also a support service. Procurement of products, procurement of good funds, easy loans, cheap funds is also part of your procurement, right? Good question, though, Manish. Good question. Any questions on value chain analysis? Any of these activities, if nothing is clear? Or if it's clear, I would want you to write it's clear. It helps me understand because I can't see you. Service support activities called secondary activities. Somewhat, yes, Ravi. Yes, but we call them support activities only because secondary activities are a very broad term. It includes a lot of other things. But these are specifically support activities. They're supporting the primary activities. Secondary activities are somewhat same, but they're not support services. So primary and secondary are two different things, but support activities are the activity which is supporting primary activities, right? The role of margin, good question. I was wanting someone to ask that question, that what is the role of margin here? Why would someone write margin here, right? What do you mean by margin? Margin is nothing but your profit, right? You as a business, when you're creating value for the customer, you will also ensure your margins. You also have to ensure profits, right? No one wants to be in loss just to create value for the customers. You're not a charitable business. You're for profit business, right? Now, this margin says that you have to keep profit. You have to make profit in all these activities. You also have to make profit in all these activities, right? Value chain analysis is not just about value for the customer, it is also about being profitable. It is also about being profitable, right? What does dotted line extended to universal man? Okay, so dotted line is in terms of, I will tell you, this is going to come in next topic, right? We will park that. We will park that. I'll also show you a different diagram that is much easier to understand in terms of margin and those dotted lines, right? We'll come to that. Commission to selling agents are services, right? Commission to selling agents will come into your outbound logistics, right? Your selling agents or into your marketing and sales expenses, right? Your selling agents are charging commission. This will come into your sales activities. Cost of sales, right? Selling agents are a kind of making sales, are a way of making more sales. All right. Let us move on to the next topic, right? The value chain analysis. We studied about value for money through core competency. What is core competency? What is core competency? Anyone can help me? What is core competency? Which is valuable, which is rare, which is costly to imitate, and which is non-substitutable, right? That is a core competency. Then there is value for money. You create value for money for the customer while making your margins. You have different general activities as a business, which are called primary and support activities, and you have to be profitable in all of those. That is what value chain analysis is all about. You analyze where you can add value and how you can be profitable as well. Great. Question on the screen, everybody. Read very carefully and answer. Read very carefully and answer. Which is meant about analyzing, right? At the same time, it permits the comprehension of the vision, their mission, and what all, right? Niche markets, strength, and weaknesses. What is it about? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? All right, I see a few answers. Good, good. What about others? What about others? Very few answers. Only I see answers only from Ishika has given, Shruti has given, Khushi has given, Kavya has given, Nakul has given. What about others? Read the question carefully and answer. Right, Ajit has given, Manish is there, Shamil has given. Okay, great. I see Kavya changing options. Kavya, would you want a lifeline also? Phone a friend. Or should we lock your option? Great. Good to see answers. Good to see answers. And let us quickly jump. Okay. We have Sushil has given. Good. Siddharthan has given. Chetna has given. Good. The correct answer is competitive landscape. The correct answer is competitive landscape. Why? 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 What is competitive landscape? ये तो twist हो गया, right? Why? What is meant by analyzing? Where is my highlighter? My bad. Here we go. The word used is analyze. The word used is analyze. Okay. Which is meant by analyzing competitors. At the same time, it permits comprehension. Comprehension means understanding of their vision, of their mission, of their core values, of what the niche market is, right? What are they good at? What market do they aim? What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? It is competitive landscape, right? It is competitive landscape. It is a landscape. That means if I tell you, what is the landscape of your city? You will say, we have hills, we have a small river, we have houses, we have flyovers, we have metro. You're telling the landscape. How does it look? You're analyzing how is it growing? Is it urban city? Is it a rural place? Right? That is what landscape is all about. And that is what competitive landscape is all about. Who all live there? Who are the competitors? What do they do? Right? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? If I tell you you're from Surat, like what do people in Surat do? You will say a lot of them are diamond merchants, a lot of them are cloth merchants, right? That is the landscape. Great. Now let us jump into ensuring sustainability, right? People were asking, what is sustainability? How do you sustain that? We studied that in those 5, 6 steps, wherein you have to ensure sustainability. That means it is not just a one-time thing that you're creating a value, but the value you create should stay, should be there for a longer period of time, for a longer period of time. Just like, for example, Tata, right? Tata Group has created value for their brand, for the consumers for the last 100 years, right? It's been over 100 years that Tatas have created value. Now, this is sustainability of their core competencies, right? Core competency cannot be just one competency. You can have multiple core competencies, right? You can have multiple. You can be good at playing guitar. You can be good at swimming. You can be good at studies. There are different core competencies that you can have, right? So you have to keep them as sustainable. It is not just like you were talking that you're good at yoga when you're young, but when you grow around 18, 20, your bones start cracking. It shouldn't happen. It should be sustainable. Then only it's good. Then only it's beneficial. Let us understand from a business perspective. The management of internal linkages between primary and support activities, right? We just studied about value chain analysis, and this talks about how do you make them sustainable. You have to understand the linkage. How are these all activities that I have as business has to do are linked, right? Provides leverage and levels of performance which are difficult to match, right? You have to do these activities. You have to do all these activities so good. You have to do these activities at such a good quality that they are difficult to match, by your competitors, right? It must ensure, and while doing this, you must ensure the ability to coordinate the activities of specialist teams. right? You should understand what your business is good at, what your people are good at. Now, if I say you are a business which is into making medicines, right? But a lot of your team members are good at singing, doesn't make sense. I don't want good singers in my company. I want good people, in terms of good people who know medicine good, who are interested in medicine, who are smart enough to innovate, to do research and development in medicine, right? You need the ability to coordinate the activities with specialist teams, right? You have to take care of what you're good at and ensure people with such skills are reading, right? In addition, in addition to above two, the ability to complement, that means to make a linkage again. Complement means to complement each other. For example, I give you the ability to complement means with bread, you eat butter, right? With bread, you eat jam. They complement each other. Bread and jam, bread and butter complement each other. That means they are able to blend together, and when they come together, they are very tasty. Right? Similarly, all your actions, all your strategies, all your activities, primary and supporting activities, should complement each other. They should be such that when they're done together, they are beneficial. They look good, they give good results, right? And coordinate the organization's own activities with those of suppliers, channels, and customers, right? Your activities, because when you're doing inbound logistics, you're talking to suppliers, you're doing outbound logistics, you're talking to customers, right? Marketing sales, you're talking to the consumers out there. You have to complement. Your activities should such that they complement, they look good, they add value to the customer, to your business, right? That is what it is all about. Read the last sentence very carefully. Read the last sentence very carefully. Develop strong networks both internally and externally. Very important. You need to develop strong networks internally and externally, right? Internally with your own teams, within your organization, good culture, good talent, and externally. That means externally with consumers, with suppliers, with shareholders, with government, right? Externally also you should have a very good network. That is how you ensure sustainability. That is how you ensure. Now Tata has ensured all of these. Now Tata Group has ensured all of these. They have good relations with their internal people who join Tata. You must have heard very few people leave Tata companies because they care about their employees so much, right? Externally, you consumers, right? Consumers are there who are actually valuing the group, right? External valuation. People are valuing externally. There are good relations externally, right? The ability to complement all their activities, all their supporting activities, all their primary activities are blended together, complement each other, right? And that is how they have been able to sustain their core competencies. They have been able to sustain their core competencies, right? Okay. Any doubts on this? Any questions on this? I think it's pretty straightforward what we are talking about here. Right, Reliance through Jio is providing leverage. It was adding a lot of value, but I think now it has become at par with its competitors. Right? It was adding a lot of value, but now it has great competition. Any doubts? If not, please do write it's clear. It helps me. Great. Thanks, Ishika, for writing it's clear. How about everyone else? I'll take 10 seconds to see if it's clear. Do give me a thumbs up or do write it down. Right. So Manish is saying, like entity promise for giving good sale to suppliers and make contract for not supply good to its rivals. Probably yes. That is kind of a strategy. We will talk about that as well, right? Okay. But how do you develop? Now the question that should come to your mind is, we talked about developing strong networks. It's a strong statement. But how do you develop strong networks? External, right? First, vertical integration. closely specifying requirements and controlling the performance of suppliers, and total quality management. It's a concept you need to remember, TQM, total quality management, which seeks to improve the performance through closer working relationships between your value system and the specialists. What does this mean? What does this mean? Simple. It's extremely simple. Okay. You need to understand how do you develop strong network externally, right? Vertical integration means it can be forward, it can be backward. Vertical means you are a business here. Let us suppose you are a business here. You start forming good relationships with your suppliers. You start forming good relationships, start doing more business, start doing valuable business, newer terms, beneficial terms with your suppliers and with your consumers, or with your delivery partners, or with your retailers, right? So vertical integration, backward and forward. Backward is going to the purchase suppliers backward, and your forward is with your delivery agents, with your warehousing partners, with your retailers, right? You start doing more business, you start doing greater business, you start acquiring their businesses, you build strong relationships, you make more contracts, you do business together, you grow together, right? Closely specifying requirements and controlling performance of suppliers, right? You specify what you need because you have to ensure quality, because you have to ensure lower prices of your products. You specify that to your suppliers that, boss, I will need good quality at this price. I will bring a lot of business to you, but you will have to give me good quality at a lower price. And I can bring a lot of business for you, for myself, right? So that is how you build networks externally, by specifying what you want and controlling what the supplier gets, right? Your purchases, easy, like cheap purchases at good quality is what you have to ensure, right? And you have to do total quality management. What does this mean? This means to improve your performance. Through how would you improve your performance? Through closer working relationships between specialists within the value system, right? That means there are people who are specialists who can teach a lot of things to your teams. A lot of people are very good at training people within the company, right? You need to improve the performance of your business through quality management to ensure that utmost quality is done by all the employees, all the people working in your company, and thus creating a value system within the company. That if anyone is working in, let's say, XYZ company, they will be doing great work. They will be working very diligently. They will be working at the utmost quality. That is how you ensure a culture of quality through total quality management. By training, by building closer relationships with specialists within your teams, within your organizations. And that is how you develop strong networks externally. That is how you build strong networks externally, right? Vertical integration, doing more business with suppliers and your delivery partners, with your retailers. Then closely telling the supplier that I want good quality at lower price, specifying requirements and controlling performance of suppliers, and then total quality management within your company, wherein you create a value system wherein everyone is giving the best of their services as an employee, as a worker in the company, right? Sustainability means, I will give you an example what is sustainable. The environment today is not sustainable, right? Solar energy is a sustainable source of energy. You would have studied it from class 6 itself, I think, right? This word was there in class 6. From class 6, we are studying sustainable sources of energy. Wind is a sustainable source. Solar energy, thermal energy is sustainable sources of energy, or sustainable sources of fuel. What does that mean? What does that mean? The same thing means sustainability. Exactly, right? Okay. What is leverages? I would want you, I would really appreciate if you guys go and search words yourself. It's basic English, right? It's basic English. You need to have good command over language because it is going to help you when you start working in corporates or in your practice, right? It's easier for me to give out the meanings of the words I shouldn't be giving, but still I give. However, you need to read more on your books or improve your vocabulary. That is not just for exams, but for the next 50, 60 years that you're going to work, right? Go and search words. Even if you still have doubts, then come and ask. I will be happy to resolve that. Okay, great. See, vertical is nothing but going backwards or going forwards. Vertical means up or down, right? Horizontal is sideways, vertical is up and down. So either you start doing more business with your suppliers or the people who are back of you in a straight line. If you look at a business, you are here, you have suppliers at the back end, you have retailers, you have delivery partners on the front end, right? You do more business, you build more relationships with them, you integrate your business with them. Right? That is what vertical integration is. Okay. Any questions on this? Like, how do you ensure sustainability in your core competency? How do you ensure to develop strong networks externally while being sustainable? Three simple. We have more ahead, right? Okay. Now the question is, if everyone knows this, if I know this at intermediate level, if you start studying this at intermediate level at an age of 19, 20, 21, 22, right? I know this, I've been working in business. A lot of my friends are doing business. They know this, they have studied this. Everyone can read this on the internet. Why do companies fail? Why do companies succeed? And why do others fail? What is that X factor? What is that secret sauce? Like, why does it happen that businesses fail? If everyone knows this, it is so simple, right? Why do companies fail then? All right, you need to understand this. It is mostly because of set of unique features of a company and its products that are perceived by the target market as significant and superior to the competition, right? What does this mean? What does this mean? I will tell you what does this mean with a very simple example. Okay. Your parents might think when you used to dance or when you dance right now, let us suppose you're dancing, your parents will be very happy. They will think that you are the best dancer in the world. You are so talented. You dance like Madhuri Dixit, right? You dance like Michael Jackson. However, if you go and do that exact same dance in some club or on the road, people will think you are mad. They will not consider you as so talented. They will like, you are average, all right? You can go home or dance. You are not a good dancer. People will judge you. People will judge you as an average dancer, right? Unless you are extremely good. Now, this is what happens with businesses also. When I am doing a business, I might think I have the best product, I have the best services for the consumers. No one can beat me. None of the competition is doing that. I have a core competency. I have created value for the customer. My business is going to be successful. But when I go to the market, when I start selling, the customer says that I don't like your product. Right? Your product is a flop. We don't like your product at all. Right? That is what they might say. Right? Okay. Great. Now what happens is further, it can be said that a firm is successful in achieving competitive advantage only after other firms' efforts to duplicate or imitate it fails. Right? Now what happens? Is once the customer values it, when the customer values it so much, right? When the customer is valuing your proposition so much, only then you're successful. Otherwise, you fail, right? Further, it can be said that a firm is successful in achieving competitive advantage only after other firms' efforts to duplicate or imitate it fails, right? It can only be successful only after. Now, for example, if I start a business, I'm doing great. It's been 1 year that I'm into business. I'm doing extremely good, right? Now, someone starts copying me and they are even better than me. My business will flop. I as a business will fail, right? Now, it is only after other firms cannot duplicate or imitate me, I will be successful. Otherwise, even if the consumer values me, someone else copies it, and then becomes better than me. Even then, I fail as a business. Even then, I fail as a business, right? So that is where the example goes. Apple products, Indigo Airlines, right? The Apple products are valued by the customer, and the other companies are not able to imitate the value it is creating for customers. Similarly, Indigo Airlines, it was the first airlines to bring in economy class, cheap airfares in India, right? So other airlines started copying like Spice or Go Air. Now it's difficult for Indigo Airlines, but earlier it was one of the first carriers to bring in cheap economy classes for domestic flights. It was creating value, right? And that is why it was successful. It is still one of the most successful airlines, right? Any questions on this? Any questions on this? That why do someone succeed and why others fail? Because your product or service is to be valued by the customer. You need to keep changing your strategy. It is an endless process. It is a never-ending process. It keeps changing. You have to keep taking corrective actions while analyzing your environment. How do you analyze environment? We have studied in last session. That is, you take corrective actions, and if your competition is not able to duplicate or imitate you, you succeed. You succeed, right? That is as simple as that. Everything boils down to basics, right? That we have been studying for last around 3 hours. Any questions on this? If it's crystal clear, I am amazed. I'm so happy it's clear to every one of you. Just please write down it's clear, or just give a thumbs up or something. I will know that it's clear. And I think I should change my pen's color. Red on red seems a little off. Any questions? Clear. All right. Ria has a question. She's asking, whole game on competitive advantage depends on the game of dynamism, right? See, dynamism is part, it's not just the only thing, but yes, you have to be dynamic, you have to be changing with time, you have to stay abreast with time, right? You have to be there with the change. How changes are happening, you have to cater to the changes right then, right now, right? That is so important for anyone, not just businesses, for you as an individual as well. Great. Okay, let me see some other questions. Let us go to the next slide, which is a question for you. Question is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Please read the question carefully and answer. It's a straightforward question. The question is on your screen. The question is on your screen. What do you think? I see a few answers already. Good to see that. Good to see that. Shrishti, you're asking the same question we've been discussing for the last 20 minutes. That is what we have been discussing in the last 3 slides. You can go back and look at those slides, please. Right? That is how it is ensuring sustainability. Right? Correct answer is competitive advantage, right? All of you have given the right answer, and that gives me confidence that the topic is clear, right? Great. I don't see a lot of you answering. Why is it so? Is my net slow or are you slow? I think my net is slow. You are a bunch of smart people. If a company's strategies result in a superior performance, right? If this company's strategies result in a superior performance, it is said to have what? It is said to have what? It is said to have competitive advantage, right? It is said to have a competitive advantage because only then you are able to give superior performance, right? That is what competitive advantage is all about. It is about having something unique that is valued by the customer, and that is why you are having superior performance than your competition, right? Okay, let us jump to the next question. Identify which is not a characteristic of competitive advantage. What do you think? Difficult words out there, right? Difficult English words, and that is what the exam is all going to be about. Not just exam, that is what your practical life is going to be all about. Difficult English words will keep coming more and more. Identify which is not a characteristic of competitive advantage. Is it appropriability? Is it tractability? Is it imitability? Or is it transferability? Question is on the screen. I think the timer of 30 seconds is too quick. However, in exams, you will have to be quick. In exams, you will have to be quick. There is no other option. Sadly, there is no other option. Okay, I see answers. Good to see answers. Good to see answers. Good to see answers. Another 5 seconds and then we will reveal. Great. Tractability is the answer. Tractability is not a characteristic. Appropriability is, imitability is, transferability is, right? It is. You can transfer your competitive advantage. It has to be transferable, right? Otherwise, there is no sense, right? Okay. Let us quickly jump into role of resources and capabilities in value creation. The role of resources and capabilities in value creation. Simple. It is super simple. Once you read this, it is as simple as it can be, right? Tangible resources are assets that can be seen and quantified. For example, production equipments, machinery, your machinery plant, your factory equipments. Intangible resources are your patents, right? Knowledge, your trust, your goodwill, the firm's reputation. Right? Now, these are the resources. The capabilities exist when resources have been purposefully integrated to achieve specific tasks or set of tasks. As simple as that. If I tell you that I will give you a 500 room hotel, all right? I tell you I gift you 500 room hotel, and you say that let us keep the hotel empty because I don't like the hotel, right? However, someone else says that 500 room hotel, okay, let me put this entire hotel on rent and not even manage this hotel because it's a very tedious task. Let me just ask someone to manage, and I will pay him the management fees, and I will sit home and earn money from this hotel. Now you have a tangible resource. But it becomes capable. It creates capabilities for you only when it is integrated to achieve specific tasks, right? Only when you use it in the right way, only when you use it in the right fashion, only when you use it to gain momentum, to create capabilities, to create a competitive advantage, to fight or to beat your competition, it creates value, right? For example, management of logistics and inventories. You have to sit down and manage your inventories. Effective customer service, right? You have to put efforts. You might have great people, you might have great goodwill. However, it will only be there if you create good customer service. It will only be there, it will only be helpful. The tangible resource will only be helpful. The intangible resource will only be meaningful if you create capabilities out of it, if you use it in the right way, right? Simple. This is common sense, right? This is common sense. If I give you a, a I would say a bowl of gold, and you still go out and use that to beg, right? That is how Akshay Kumar says, right? सोने का कटोरा दे दो, still you will go and beg. फिर भी वो भीख ही मांगेंगे. Unless, even if you have resources, right? You have to be capable. You have to create capability. Right? You can have extremely good resources, but they will only create value when you create capabilities or when you make capable decisions from them, for them, right? Okay. I think there is nothing more to explain in this. You should have a resource. You have a resource. Use it in the best way possible. As simple as that. Okay. Now, competitive advantage, right, and capabilities, just what we discussed, right? It comes from sources, right? This is what we're talking about: tangible, your physical and financial resources, your money, your loans, right, and your intangible, human skills, technology, and reputation. This diagram is all about. It says competitive advantage, right? From resources, you create capabilities. From capabilities, you create competitive advantage. From capabilities, you also create more resources. You see an arrow up and down. You see an arrow up and down. That means through resources, you create capabilities. With more capable decisions, once you are capable, you are able to make more resources, right? If your business is capable. Now, I'll give you a very simple example. You have 100 rupees, right? You take a loan of 100 rupees. Let us suppose you take a loan of 100 rupees and you do good business and you make 150 rupees of 100 rupees. Okay. You had a financial asset, you had a financial resource, you were capable enough to convert it into 150. Now, because you are capable enough, you create value in the market, that you are a good business. Banks will give you 400 rupees now so that you make 600 or more than 600, right? Through, if once you have resources, you create capabilities. If you create good capabilities, you get more resources. As simple as that. And once this chain is there, once this chain starts working for you, that capability, more resources, more resources, more capability, more resources, more capability, more resources, even more capability, you create a competitive advantage. You create a competitive advantage. And competitive advantage leads to intangible resources. Competitive advantage creates a goodwill for you, creates a trust of your brand. It creates a brand value for you. And it is directly linked to creating more resources. It is all about being rich. It is more about being affluent in terms, not just money, in terms of value creation. You have to be rich in terms of value creation, right? It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Less money, more capable, more money, more capable, more money, more capable. You create a competitive advantage. You get more goodwill. You get more resources. You get more brand value. You even become bigger, right? The more effort, the more capable you are, the bigger your business keeps becoming. And that is what value creation is all about. That is what value creation is all about, right? Okay. Now, any questions before I go into this? 30 seconds I'll take to answer any questions in this, and then we'll go ahead, right? Sustainability depends on four major characteristics. Before we dive into this, any doubts? If not, just give me a thumbs up or tell it's clear, right? That helps a lot. I don't see any responses. Why is it so? Is it on my end, or are you guys not responding? So, Vanchit, I think finances is one of the best examples you can understand in terms of you're able to make good profits, you will get more money, you will create more resources, you will create more physical assets, you will become capable enough, there will be competitive advantage because once you have a lot of resources, you become so big that you can charge less money, you can spend more on marketing, right? In your primary activities, in your supporting activities, everything is linked, right? And you create more intangible assets in terms of your brand value or your goodwill. Great. Wonderful to know. Thanks, Kushi, Anushka, and Nakul. And Vanshika, I think I was able to explain that. Right. Okay. Let us go into understanding the sustainability of competitive advantage, right? It depends on four characteristics, like we had a question on this, right? We had a question on this. And now we'll discuss what does this mean. See, sustainability depends on four major characteristics: durability, transferability, imitability, and appropriability of returns. What does this mean? Durability of firms' resources. That means they are durable, right? They're durable. That means they can be used for a longer period of time. They're durable. For example, I tell you, if I say Nokia, the old Nokia phone was very durable, right? You throw it on a wall, you throw it on the floor, it did not break. It kept on working. It kept on working. It was very difficult to break it, or it did not break easily. It functioned in any given situation. It was durable. So your firm's resources should also be durable. They should be used for a longer period of time. They should be able to be used for a longer period of time. Transferability of capabilities, right? If let us suppose some people in your team, in your company are very capable, or they have good skills, it should be transferable, right? They should be able to teach that to other people. If you have three businesses, like we took example of, let's suppose a footwear business, right? Men segment, women segment, and or kids segment. The three is SBUs, right? Now your men's segment understood that the best marketing is online marketing, while your women segment and kids section is doing marketing in print media and newspapers, and that they're not getting good results. But men segment started doing marketing online, and they got very good results. These capabilities, they created a marketing capability for themselves, and they should be able to transfer that to other segments of your business, right? Then only it becomes sustainable. Then only it becomes available for a longer period of time. Sustainability in the general term would mean available for a very long period of time, right? Once your capabilities are transferable, it becomes sustainable. Imitability of corporate culture, right? The culture is of high quality, high performance. If everyone is able to imitate, that means copy that. It is able to follow and copy that. Your business strategy, your competitive strategy, your competitive advantage will be sustainable, will be available to you for a very long period of time. Appropriability of returns. You have to make profits, right? Your returns should be appropriate, right? You cannot just make losses for creating value, for creating competitive advantage. No point. No point. I am the best business giving the best quality of products to my customers and I'm in losses, right? It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Okay. Now, these are the four major characteristics to have a sustainable, that means available for a long period. A competitive advantage should be available for a very long period. And these four major characteristics will help you ensure that in business, durability of firm's resources, transferability of your capabilities to different segments of the business, within the business, outside the business, to your customers, to your retailers, to your suppliers. Work together as a community, right? It is not just about being selfish as a business, it is about growing together, right? Imitability of corporate culture, being high quality, high performance, should be able to copy within the organization by everyone. Everyone should work towards the motives, objectives, vision, and mission of the organization. And appropriability of returns, you have to make profits. There is no other way to sustain. You cannot be sustained, you cannot be sustainable unless you make profits, right? Okay. Any doubts on these four advantages? Pretty straightforward, pretty basic and common, right? But any doubts, happy to resolve. I think the internet, like we are still in the digital world, so the responses might be slow. So we'll bear with it. Great. So Manish says transferability of capabilities makes more problem in food industry, but more benefits for short term to that entity. Manish, I would really want you to explain that to me. I find it quite interesting, but I don't understand that. So probably if you can help that, we'll be happy to read. Right. Right. Imitability. See, imitability is nothing but being able to follow and copy. Now, let us suppose you have a business, right? You want everyone working in your business to perform at the utmost high quality, right? The corporate culture is of high performance. Everyone should able be to imitate that. That means to copy that. Only then your business will be sustainable, right? If you want your business, if you want your organization to succeed, to have a competitive advantage, your business should function at a very high performance, at a very high quality, right? And everyone, the culture within the business should be able to be copied by everyone, right? It should not be difficult to copy, it should be easy to copy, right? That is what imitability of corporate culture. Absolutely. This means return not only for us, but everyone in connection with us. That is what business is all about. That is what business is all about. You cannot be sustainable. You cannot grow a business unless you think about everyone who is connected with you, right? If you just start thinking about yourself, the suppliers will go away, the customers will go away, the bankers will go away. You have to think about everyone, right? Okay. Question on the screen. Question is on the screen. Capabilities that do not have strategic equivalence are known as dash capabilities. What do you think? That do not have strategic equivalence are called what? Are called dash kind of capabilities. It's a very simple English vocabulary question, I think. Probably, but speaks a lot about the kind of capabilities that businesses have. My further request to every one of you would be to start reading more, to start watching English shows or English news, start building up on vocabulary. Right? It is so important. And I think it's never too late, but I would also give you a heads up that it might be late if you do not start now. At foundation level, you might get some grace points, but at intermediate level, I think after intermediate, you're going to go for your article share. Right? So this is going to be a huge challenge thing. It's going to be a huge challenge thing. In articleship, you will face a lot of challenge If you, because all your books, all your notices from government, all your financial reports, all your management people, they are going to talk in English. They are going to write down everything in English. They might come back with a good vocabulary. Then you will face a challenge. So it's better to start building that up. The correct answer is non-substitutable. That means it cannot, they do not have substitutes, right? They do not have substitutes. What is substitute? You know what is substitute. In school, we used to have a substitute period. We used to have a substitution teacher. Right? That is what substitute is. Okay. Value creation, the concept. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about when you were talking about that big graph about primary service and your supporting services. Now look at this graph carefully. Look at this graph carefully, right? Three profitable factors. Three profitable factors. Customer surplus, firm's margin, and we look at firm's cost of value creation. It is very simple. Now you start making something, you are at 0 rupees, you spend 100 rupees to make that product. You spend 100 rupees to make that product, right? You sell that product, you sell that product at 150 rupees. So this is 50 rupees, this is 50 rupees. Your total price becomes 150, okay? Now out of this, you will say, it costed me 100 rupees. I sold it for 150. Firm's margin, your business's margin is 50 rupees, right? The business margin is 50 rupees. However, the customer thinks that you are selling it cheap. That means customer values your product. Customer values your product even more than 150 rupees. Customer values your product even more than 150 rupees, right? That is the customer surplus. And once a business identifies that the customer is valuing my product even more than what I'm selling it for, the profitable band increases. The profitability band increases. Now, even if you go and charge 180 rupees, the customer will say, I am comfortable because you are giving me value much more than that, right? This is what businesses have to keep analyzing. This is what businesses analyze. I get it for 100 rupees, I sell it for 150, but the customer thinks that this is very cheap, it is very good quality, it is extremely good quality, only for 150 rupees. Even if you charge 200 rupees, I will be happy to buy it. Now that 50 rupees is another window for a business to make more money, right? And that is what value creation is all about. When you're selling it at 150 rupees, it is value for money. It is value for money for the customer. It is value for money for the customer. That is why you get to know I can charge even more. You can increase your profits by giving more quality or the same quality, right? And that is what value creation matrix is all about. Simple diagram. You buy it for 100, you sell it for 150. Customer thinks it can also be higher. Even if you charge more money, I will buy it. That is value creation analysis. That is value creation analysis. That is value creation matrix. Right? Okay. A portfolio analysis. When I talk about portfolio analysis, it is a tool to analyze and evaluate what itself, right? A set of techniques that help top management in deciding in regards to individual products or businesses in a firm's portfolio. Like you were talking, like a company you have, you make planes, you make water bottles, you make utensils, you make XYZ product. Now, which product is beneficial, which product is not beneficial for me? That is portfolio analysis. That is your portfolio. A portfolio is like is a group of all the things that you have is portfolio. For example, if I say I have Tata shares, I have Reliance shares, I have HDFC shares, I have XYZ company shares, I have Tata Power, I have this and that, I have all the shares, right? That is my portfolio of shares. This is also there with me. This is also there with me. It is a portfolio. of shares. Similarly, businesses who have multiple businesses, it is a portfolio. Who have multiple products has a portfolio of different products, and that is what they analyze through portfolio analysis. That which one is better, which one can be stopped, whose funds can be diluted or shifted to some other profitable business I have, right? Used for competitive analysis and for corporate strategic planning in a multi-product and multi-business firms, like we just discussed. The best business portfolio is one that best fits the company's strengths and weaknesses to opportunities in the environment, right? Simple logic. The best portfolio is all the businesses that you're good at, you collect them together, and that is your best portfolio, right? If I'm good at selling food items, I should focus on selling food items more. And that is how portfolio analysis helps, that if I'm good at something, I will do more of it, right? That is what portfolio analysis is all about. Okay. Question on the screen. Question on the screen, right? Sure, Rosin, I will use a different highlighter. Thank you for highlighting that out. I'll use a darker color. I will use a dark color. The question is on the screen, which can be defined as a technique that helps strategists in taking strategic decisions in regard to individual products or businesses in a firm's portfolio. We just discussed this. Correct. I think it's a super simple, straightforward question. It's portfolio analysis, right? It is a technique that helps businesses to understand, take decisions with regard to individual products that are there in their portfolio, right? Okay. A portfolio analysis has a few models, right? Has a few models. We will understand that. Super simple. I can tell you this is one of the most simple things to understand. If you get it, I'll give you super easy examples, okay? SBU. We have talked about SBUs at length. I think this is covered. SBUs are covered. What is experience curve, right? Now, I'll give you an example. Now, earlier, when you start doing something, it is very tough. When you start doing something, I don't know how many of you know how to play a guitar, but if you have learned playing a guitar or any instrument, it is extremely difficult. You do not understand where to keep that hand, when to blow air into your flute, or when to play that tal on tabla, right? It is extremely difficult when you start doing it. But once you do it regularly, you start doing it, you get to see that, okay, this is how it is done, and it becomes easier. You start becoming efficient at it. You start becoming smarter at it. That is what experience curve is all about. Explains the efficiency increase gained by workers through repetitive productive work, right? When you start a business, your workers will not know how to do, they will take time to make that product. But once your factory starts working, they will make that product like in 30 seconds or 20 seconds or 10 seconds. And thus your efficiency of the business will increase more. You will be able to produce more and sell more. That is what experience curve is. Product life cycle. Just like anything, each and every product has a product life cycle. Simple. Look at this. I'll choose a different highlighter. Okay. Introduction, right? The product is introduced in the market. You tell them, okay, I'll give you an example of, let us say, Kinder Joy. Okay. Kinder Joy or let us say McDonald's. Okay. McDonald's, when it was very early in India, it was introduction, right? People did not go to McDonald's very much, right? Because they thought that we don't want to eat burgers, right? Because we do not have that habit. No, it was an introduction phase. Then came growth. People started going, more people, mouth publicity, then marketing. They thought that this is more Western culture. Let us experience Western culture. The business of McDonald's started growing, the growth stage. It matured. In 5, 7 years, 10 years, it started maturing. That means stability. Now McDonald's is at a stage where it is mature enough that the business is stable. People know what McDonald's is. People regularly visit McDonald's. It's a stable business. It is mature. And after maturity comes decline. What goes up always comes down. Right? Newton has said that. So introduction, growth, maturity, and then decline. When you become mature, more people start doing that business because they see that you are gaining a lot of money in this business and they also want to do that business. So competition increases and there is a decline in your profits. There is a decline in your business because a lot of people start doing it, a lot of competition. So your business, your product starts declining. That is product life cycle. Introduction, then you grow, you mature, and then you start declining because a lot of people start doing that, right? That is decline, product life cycle. Right. Okay. Absolutely. A lot of people have learned guitar, I see. Good to see that. Absolutely. Vanshika is saying when you start to drive a car, absolutely you do. I faced a lot of challenge in picking my leg up from the clutch. Right? It's a very difficult task. Great. Okay. Now this is a very important and super duper interesting topic, right? We are talking about portfolio analysis. Which business is good? Let us suppose I have 4 businesses. I have 4 businesses and I have to find out which business is better, which business is in which position, which business is at. So if I give you example, I have 4 businesses. I want to understand which business is at introduction level, which business is at growth level, which business is at maturity level, which of my business is declining, right? And which business is profitable, which business is going to be profitable in future. How do I analyze that? How do I do that? One of the best techniques and models out there in the market is BCG growth matrix, right? BCG growth matrix. BCG stands for Boston Consulting Group. It is one of the biggest and the most affluent consulting groups in the world, right? Who actually help top management in taking business decisions. So they have made this matrix, right? They have made this matrix that helps businesses define where their business is, right? That helps businesses define where their different products in the business are, right? Now, 4 categories. They divide every business into 4 categories. It can be a star, it can be a question mark, it can be a cash cow, or it can be a dog, right? If your business is rapidly growing, it is needing heavy investment to maintain position and the finance their rapid growth, right? You potential representing the best expansion because you have a lot of action happening in that business. I have 4 businesses and one of that business needs a lot of money, needs a lot of effort. It is growing like anything. A lot of consumers are coming into it. I need a lot of marketing. Super sales are there, right? It is a star. I will define it as a star business. I will define it as a star business, right? Question mark, problem children, right? I don't know where that business is going. It is requiring a lot of money. It is requiring a lot of money, but it is not giving me any profit. It is just asking for a lot of effort. It is asking for a lot of money, but it is not growing. It is not giving me profits. It is a question mark for me, right? What are cash cows? They generate cash and have low costs. Businesses that do not require a lot of effort and a lot of money, but they help me earn a lot of money, right? They are cash cows. They are cash cows. I do not have to do much effort. I do not have to put a lot of money, but it generates a lot of money for me, right? For example, for a lot of people, it's investments, and for a lot of people, it's real estate investment. Cash cows. You buy a property, you get a good capital gain. It's a very low cost, right? You once buy a property for the next 5-10 years, you just sit down and you gain a lot of money. That's like a cash cow. It keeps generating cash through rental, right? You put that property on rent, you generate cash. That is a cash cow. Low effort, very few efforts, but a lot of money. That is cash cow. What are dogs? Dogs are businesses which do not have much future and are ideal for disinvestment. Now you identify there's a business that has no future at all, and I should just I should just sell off that business. This matrix define that business, that particular product of your portfolio. We are talking about portfolio analysis. I have a lot of small businesses. I have to define which business is in what position. Is it a star, which is requiring great growth, great money, a lot of effort? It is generating a lot of sales, generating a lot of money, right? It's a star business. Or is it a question mark? It is asking for a lot of money, but it is not growing that much. Is it a question mark? Whether it gives me a question that should I continue or not? Or is it a cash cow? It is not asking for any efforts. It is not asking for any money, but it is generating a lot of cash flow. It is a cash cow. Or is it a dog that there is no future and it is just ideal for this and just sell it off? It's a dog business, right? So BCG matrix helps you define these businesses, your portfolio, different businesses in your portfolio into these four categories, right? That is what BCG, Boston Consulting Group, growth share matrix. Growth share matrix is all about. It talks about growth. It talks about share, right? That means we were talking about, is it growing? How fast is it growing? Is it even growing? Will it even grow? Question mark. It is growing like anything, right? And share in terms of what kind, how much of my efforts, how much of the share in my entire business does this particular product have, right? So BCG growth share matrix, which talks about which is growing faster, which is question mark, whether it grow or not, I don't know. Cash cow, I do not have to generate, it is not growing, but it is generating a lot of cash. It is not asking for a lot of effort for growing, but generating a lot of cash. Or is it a dog? It is not growing at all. I know it is not going to grow. I will sell it off, right? Super simple BCG growth share matrix, which is a model in your portfolio analysis, right? Any doubts on this? Why would someone buy a dog? Why not? Because I will give you an example. Okay. Why would someone buy a dog? Dog in terms of dog business, right? Now, it depends on your core competencies. What were we talking about? Right? Portfolio analysis is finding the best business portfolio. A dog for you can be a star for someone else, right? It is your analysis how you look at that business. Right? A dog business can be a star for someone else, right? For example, you have a cycle repair shop. Now you think there is no future for cycles, right? Someone might think that there is a great future for cycles. Everyone is going to travel by cycles. Let me start a cycle repair shop. He or she will buy your business. It is about how you perceive, how you analyze. Some business which is a dog for you might be a star, might be a cash cow for someone else, right? Great. Can portfolio be summation of all businesses in a company? Absolutely, yes. Can Flipkart and Amazon be classified as question marks? They are stars. Why would you call them question marks? They are stars, rapidly growing, heavy investment to maintain their position. They are stars. Amazon and Flipkart are stars, right? Right, Abhishek. Great example on product life cycle as Facebook. Earlier introduction, then grew, matured. Now people are on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat, so it has declined, right? Yes, absolutely. RIA BCG matrix is actually very helpful because you can put all your businesses into four categories. If you have 100 businesses, right? If you have 100 businesses and you're able to put them into these four categories, you will get to understand more which businesses to continue, which businesses not to continue. Right? Right, Krishna, I think that's a great one. You can shift question marks with cats, right? That's a good one, I would say. That's a good one. Okay, before we go on to the next topic, I would want want ma'am to join. Hello, ma'am. Are you there? Ruchi, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I think absolutely. Thank you for joining, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I think students will really enjoy having a discussion on the topics we have studied till now. Okay.
Right. So, thank you, Ajay. Thank you for the wonderful session, and I hope that students will definitely get advantage of your valuable time and the important topics which you have covered in chapter 1 as well as in chapter 2. My dear students, with this note, myself, Dr. Ruchi Agarwal, the faculty from Board of Studies ICAI, here just to tell you some important points regarding the paper attempt. Basically, what we feel during the seeing the difficulties and whatever the questions students asked us, that what we find is basically in strategic management that student was not able to understand the essence of the question, that what the examiner has asked in the question paper, that is very important. So my advice to all the students is that please read the question at least twice before giving any answer. Read the question, understand the question thoroughly, so that students can give a good and better answer for the question. Another thing which we generally find in the students, that few of the students are having a problem while writing the language. That is one of the most, you can say, the common problem in the students, that most of the students were not able to write the answers in a well-mannered way. So please, my dear students, please try to understand that this is a management paper and you have to write the things in a better way, in a better language, so that the paper checker, or you can say the examiner, can understand it very well. For that, I advise all the students that since now from May 19 onwards, this paper comprises of 50 marks and it is divided further into 70-30 ratio. Like 30% of 50 is, that is 15 marks weightage is of MCQ based questions and 35 is subjective. Again, that 15 marks is compulsory question, so it's a good chance for the students to score very well. Earlier it happened that students hardly get good marks in this paper, but now when it is of MCQ, so it is in your hand. By understanding the MCQs in a better manner, you can exactly get 15 out of 15, which is a huge number out of 50. So my focus is here, students, please try to understand the scenario very well. Try to understand, read at least twice a scenario. Once go thoroughly the scenario, then a quick glance study is important while you are giving the MCQs. Then after that, there are some MCQs like independent MCQs, and few of the MCQs are independent MCQs. Do you know the meaning of independent MCQs? Independent MCQs means that a particular, or you can say a very small caselet type questions will come. that may be of 2 marks also, where we analyze the analytical and application skills of the student. You know very well that our paper is having 2 skills. We are judging 2 skills in this paper, that is comprehension and knowledge, as well as analysis and analytical. Comprehension and knowledge is about 50 to 70%, and 30 to 50% is about analytical and application skills. So my advice to all the students, please go try to understand the question, what basically the paper setter or the institute has asked you, that what you have to give the answer. So read the question thoroughly before writing the answer. Another thing, students, which generally students face difficulty while writing the answer is that there is a compulsory question of 5 marks which consists of a small caselet type question. Question number 2. That is a small caselet type question in which we give a case scenario, or you can say a caselet, a particular situation. It may be the real time situation, it may be a situation where after getting passed in the CA examination and all, I hope that all of us will get good position in your career, and where you find day in day out, you find so many situations where you have to tackle. So for that matter, this paper is very, very important from that point of view. So you have to sincerely read the situation, then analyze the situation, that what basically situation requires, what you have to do in that particular situation, and then you please write down the answer. These 2-3 things I want to apprise all of you regarding the writing way, or the you can say attempting way of the paper. With this, I think Arjit must have taught you the portfolio analysis. He had covered the portfolio analysis, in which BCG, I think BCG he had covered. Just give me a minute. I had done the screen share. I hope that you all of are able to see the screen. Okay, thank you. So our CA Arjit Sethi discussed two chapters in front of you, and I'm going to forward this session with a hope that you must have thoroughly understand the concepts includes in chapter 1, Introduction to Strategic Management, and chapter 2, Dynamics of Competitive Strategy. Here are few of the exercises I just want to check, or you can say I just want to see that whether you people are able to give the answers, the kind of preparation you require at this point of time while writing the November 2021 examination is here. Few of the questions are like, just see. This MCQ is, you can say, independent MCQ. Please read, the question is on the screen. Hyundai achieved, oh, just a minute. Is it fine? Is it fine? I had to done full screen. Okay, just a minute. Is it fine? Okay, it is readable now. Okay. Dear students, this is case 1, MCQ 1. Hyundai achieved success year after year since its entry into the Indian market, where Maruti Suzuki has been the industry leader. To succeed in the competitive environment, it brings out new cars and improve models of existing cars every year to cater to various segments of customers. Hyundai has a deep understanding of what? Read this question twice. Once again, you please read this question and try to understand what basically asked from this question. I have not received. Few of the students have given the answer. Okay, good, good, good. Others, please do fast. You all have given the correct answer. Yes, I think almost, except 1 or 2. Brinda, how it is a option 1? How it is competitive advantage? My dear students, the answer is competitive landscape. How it is? Just a minute, there is something wrong going on in my system. I'm not able to what happened basically. Competitive landscape is about identifying and understanding the competitors. What in that particular caselet, which I had shown you earlier, this one, here what Hyundai is doing. The competitor is Maruti Suzuki, and Hyundai is what Hyundai is doing. The just find out the identify the competitor and what are the and understanding the competitor's essence, and at the same time it permits the comprehension of their vision, mission, its core values, which you will read in chapter 3. Niche market means a small market, its strength, its weakness. That means you are totally analyzing the competitors landscape. Understanding the competitors landscape requires an application of competitive intelligence. Just see the screen, my dear students. There is another MCQ of independent MCQ. A FMCG company has more than 15 shampoo brands, but none of them is anywhere close to its premium brand Dove in awareness, revenue, and profits. Where does Dove fall in the BCG matrix? Read the question again and then give your answers. Yeah, very good. I have received so many posts. Yes, yes, very good. But one or two students are giving answer D. I don't know why these students are giving question mark. The answer of this question is star. Why it is star? As I think C. Arjit has already taught you this concept recently, that basically this BCG matrix is a two-dimensional matrix. On the vertical axis, we see market growth rate, and on the horizontal axis, it is relative market share. So how it works, like stars are rapid growth. You can see stars are rapid growth. Why they are needing rapid growth? Heavy investments to maintain their position and finance their rapid growth potential, representing best expansion opportunities. Likewise, next question on the screen is, please see on the screen, my dear students. Mr. Kartha is moving to Pune for his new role as general manager to the R&D center for a big tech firm. At which strategic level will he be working as a general manager? Read the question carefully and then give your answers. A few of them are giving the answers, but they all are saying it's a corporate level. It is at corporate level. So, hurry up, students. Please give the answer after understanding the situation. Mr. Kartha is moving to Pune for his new role as general manager to the R&D center for a big tech firm. At which strategic level will he be working as a general manager? He is working both as a corporate as well as business level. Why it is so? General managers deliver their responsibilities at both corporate and business levels. However, their responsibilities depends on the size of the organization. See on the screen the next question. Decentralized finance, DeFi, e-commerce and clean energy are separate units of ERC Limited that have been devised for enhanced strategic management. Which of the following is not a characteristic for identifying separate SBU, that is strategic business units? I think you people, do you know the meaning of decentralized finance? Decentralized finance basically related to the financing of through blockchains, sort of cryptocurrencies. What are basically the cryptocurrencies? These all are the decentralized finance. So these decentralized finance, e-commerce and clean energy are three separate units of a particular company that have been devised for enhanced strategic management. Which of the following is not a characteristic for identify separate SBUs? Give your answers, students. Distinct markets, customers' preference, similar tech used, identical competitive advantages. Customers' preference. Rest of the three options are the characteristics of separate SBUs. The three segments of ERC Limited work as SBUs. Customers' preference is not a characteristic of division as the matter is based on internal strategic decisions and does not relate to customer influence. See the next scenario based, or you can say caselet based question on the screen. Paytm can be identified as a star as per BCG's growth matrix. Based on the rapid growth and enormous funds, it demands to maintain and grow its market share. What would Paytm turn into when its growth slows down? Kindly read the question carefully and give your answers. Read it thoroughly. Yes, please do fast. Hurry up, students. Yes, few of the students have given a correct answer, that is cash cows. Why it is a cash cow again? As per the BCG growth matrix, a star turns into a cash cow when the growth slows down. Here, I think one or two students had given earlier. I asked one BCG question. So here, one or two students asked related to that how the question mark stars convert into cash cows. This is the situation. A star turns into a cash cow when the growth slows down. Another question on your screens, please see it, read it carefully. Sharks Private Limited shall function as an SBU, being one of the key businesses of the parent company. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a SBU, strategic business unit? Please read it again and then reply. A combination of two or more businesses. Separate planning is done for the business. it has its own set of competitors. It has its own manager responsible for strategic profits. Please post your answers. I am waiting for your answers. Please post your answers. AADA. Okay. I think students were not able to understand basically the question which I have asked here. I am repeating. Sharks Private Limited shall function as a SBU, being one of the key businesses of the parent company. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a SBU? Combination of two or more businesses is not a characteristic, because in SBU every business unit is having separate planning. So separate planning is done for the business. Yes, of course. It has its own set of competitors. Yes, of course. It has its own managers responsible for strategy and profit. That's why only the odd one out is a combination of two or more businesses. Next, the scenario caselet is like an organization during its strategy planning envisaged entire scenarios and created a strategy framework. But in meantime, after implementation, it realized that its framework is not effective in certain unique scenarios. What is the reason for the same? Read this question very, very carefully, that what basically we want this scenario expects from you. An organization during its strategic planning envisaged entire scenarios and created a strategy framework. That is basically strategy planning. Okay? But in meantime, after implementation, while implementing, they realized that its framework is not effective in certain unique scenarios. In particular situation, these frameworks will not work. What is the reason for the same? Why it is so? Send your answers. Yes, very good, Vanshika. The correct option is A. Why? Because the strategy is partly proactive as well as partly reactive. That is the reason. Because if it doesn't happen that strategy is totally a planning, no. Sometimes it happened that strategy can be a reactive strategy. After implementing the things, we will able to understand that this can be a correct one or this can be the incorrect one. That's why we said that strategy is partly proactive and partly reactive. See on the screens one more caselet. Automobile sector is growing at a rapid speed in India. I think you all of us agree on it. There is a cutthroat competition among the automobile industries. Which one of these will best serve as a source of competitive advantage for a firm over its rivals? Please read this carefully. Try to understand the scenario that automobile sector is going at a high speed, at a rapid speed. There is a, of course, if any of the industry goes at a speedy growth, definitely there are a lot of competitors will come, and among them, of course, the competition is also occurs. So which one of these will best serve as a source of competitive advantage for a firm over its rivals? Send post your answers, please. Yes, very good. Krishna, Anushka, Sakshi, very good. You all are absolutely fine. Correct, that it's core competence. Another question on your screen is, ABC is a marketing consultancy business. ABC's most recent corporate analysis has identified that 3 new businesses have recently entered its market and started aggressively targeting ABC's key client. As part of ABC's corporate analysis, these 3 new businesses would be a strength, opportunity, weakness, threat. Read it carefully. Read it carefully and send your answers. Threat. Yes, absolutely correct. Few of the students have Atul, Vanshika, Manish, Abhishek. Very good, Srishti. With this, last but not least, one more caselet I am presenting in front of you just to brushing up your knowledge and just to know that how much you are having the concept clarity. Mr. Parikh sharing with his friend in an informal discussion that he has to move very cautiously in his organization as the decisions taken by him has organization-wide impact and involves large commitments of resources. He also said that his decisions decided the future of his organization. Where will you place Mr. Parikh in the organizational hierarchy? Middle level, low level, top level, none of the above. Top is our corporate level, then business level, that is middle level, and then lower level, that is at functional level. Where you find Mr. Parikh? Read the question carefully. At top level, right? Why it is so? That he is sharing with his friend that in an informal discussion he was telling that he has to move very cautiously. Why cautiously? Because his decisions matters a lot for the organization. Why it is so? That it impacts, the impact of his decisions is very wide and involves large commitments of resources. He also said that his decisions decide the future of the organization. So that's why we can say that Mr. Parikh is at top level. So I find that a few of the students have given very correct answers. A very small bunch of students were not able. Even one of the student is giving for this question. One of the student is giving low level is the answer. How it is? It can be a low level. He is doing strategic decisions. He is taking doing cautiously all the decisions. That of course means that the decision maker is at top level. Yes, Tanya is writing because his decision will impact the organization. Yes, the decision will impact the organization as a whole as well as for his future, for the future of the organization. That's why it is at the top level. Mr. Parekh is at top level. All right. So students, here I have asked you 10, 12 questions just because of that, just to understand and just to know that such kind of, you have to prepare yourself for such kind of small caselets. It will helpful you in scoring the marks in strategic management, because I earlier told you that this 15 marks you can easily score by understanding the concepts, understanding the depth of the concepts in strategic management. And one more thing, that here you will get 15 out of 15, that which is very, very attractive. Second set of question paper comprises of 35 marks here. So 35 marks, out of 35 marks, one question of 5 mark is compulsory. Whatever the scenarios I have shown you, it may also be possible that here I have given all the options to you. Just think that whatever the scenarios I have posed in front of you, it may also be possible that in the examination, some compulsory question of 5 marks may come like that only without the MCQs. If I said in this particular case scenario, case scenario number 10 maybe, like if I said that I'll delete the options, that what would be your answer? You have to write the answer, maybe like that. I just simply change the wording. Where will you place Mr. Parekh in the organizational hierarchy, as well as explain the, identify the place where Mr. Parekh exists in the organization, and explain the role of Mr. Parekh in the organization. So you have to write the answer carefully. First, you have to identify that he is at the top level. Then you have to jot down the role of Mr. Parekh. That means the role of top level, the role of corporate level in the organization. In this manner, you have to prepare yourself. My dear students, try to understand whatever the MCQs have been given in the study material, or you can say the MCQs booklet. Now it is in MCQ booklet. I think you all must aware about that there is a proper scenarios and MCQ booklet issued by the institute. So I hope that you all are aware of that. Read all the MCQs in that manner, that if the options have not been given to you, then how you will write the answer of that scenario. It will definitely, I promise you, and I told you that it will definitely make a difference in your preparation as well as in your examination, as well as not only here but as well as in your professional career. See, whatever the 10 scenarios I have given, just see, have a glance first. Just see that if I delete the options, then read it now and try to understand that how we can give the answer of this question. If I give you like this, that Hyundai achieved success year after year since its entry into the Indian market, where Maruti Suzuki has been in the industry leader. To succeed in the competitive environment, it brings out new cars and improved models of the existing cars every year to cater to various segments of customer. Hyundai has a deep understanding of what? Of course, competitive landscape and how. A very small tail I have put, and how. So how you will write this? Just think about that what you have to write now. You had identified very well that it's a competitive landscape. You have to write the answer that how. That how matters. Most of the students can identify competitive landscape correctly. But what you have to do, you have to write the how the competitive landscape occurs. So here you have to write in this manner. These are just the points. You have to elaborate it for 5 marks. Got my point? So whatever the scenarios, whatever the MCQs, whatever the independent MCQs you are having, either in RTP or in mock test or in MCQ and case-like booklet, try to not to do only in the form of options given, in the form of multiple choice questions. Try to do it in the form of scenario-based questions. It will help you. I bet you that it will definitely help you. It will definitely serve you in writing the answers in the examination. Few of the students are writing, few of the students are saying that, ma'am, now post-COVID business efficiencies to be replaced by business resilience as a business objective. Please share your opinion. Post-COVID business efficiency is to be replaced by business resilience as business objective. Please share your, of course, Mansha. Oh, Mansha, you are still in our classes. I remember you that I think 3-4 years back we have a conversation or we have a communication related to the queries of strategic management, and your queries are very well taken and always addressed. But I am wondering that you are still taking the classes. Mansha, you just hello. Am I audible? Okay, okay. So, my dear students, here I just wanted to apprise you that try to understand the things that how you have to prepare yourself for this particular paper. Today I am here just because to tell you about this, that what basically the students mistaken, many of the students came board of studies and they simply said, ma'am, from past 3 attempts, we are not able to succeed in strategic management and information technology and strategic management, and how we can proceed, what we can. So my very first question to every student is, please understand the concepts. Please understand the concepts. Don't go for rote learning. It will not serve the purpose. Understand the concepts carefully so that it will help you in any of the situation, any kind of situation, any kind of scenario was posed by the examiner. you will be able to give the correct answer only when you are conceptually thorough. So please, my advice to all of you, please brush up your concepts and try to do lot of exercise even in the MCQs booklet, whether it may be in the MCQs booklet or whether it may be in the study material, behind the study material. In Test Your Knowledge, there are so many case scenarios, small caselets in every chapter. You just once go through all the things so that you will be able to understand that how you have to write and how you have to understand the concepts. If somebody is having doubt, please, you may ask. Yes, Mansha is writing, okay, I am still at IPC J-Row course, will appear in December month. Okay, Mansha, don't disheart yourself. Don't be disheartened. I wish that this time you will definitely succeed in your examinations. And if you find any support or any thing you require from my side, you can always welcome all the students, not only Mansha. I'm not talking about Mansha itself. All the students can post their queries, can post their problems on the mail, which the virtual classes mail is there, or even you can post your queries on my personal email ID. You may write my personal email ID, official email ID, ruchi.gupta, ruchi.gupta@icai.in. Right? With this, I hope you people will understand the kind of preparation you require. This, in between of the session, I had taken this small half an hour, or you can say 45-minute session, just because to tell you that what you are lacking for the examination. Here now we have only 1 month, or you can say 2 months in our hand. October, November, September is almost, you can say, you have multiple papers as well. So you have to strategically plan your preparations. You have to chalk out the things and you have to allocate the time for strategic management. Don't think that this paper we can do in 5-10 days. Try to understand the weightage of this paper is also 50 marks. So my request to all of the students, please give due weightage, due time for this paper also. It's a very, very interesting paper, as well as it's a very demanding paper. This subject is very demanding nowadays, right? And whatever the methodology I had taught you, that you have to analyze yourself, your skills in that manner. Strategize yourself, do the paper strategically, learn the paper strategically, so that you will be able to do justice with your preparations as well as for yourself. With this note, I hope you all are in good spirits, and best of luck for your examination as well as. Yes, a few of the students are asking my email ID again. My email ID is ruchi, ruchi.gupta@icai.in. Right, students? Yes, a few of them are writing very well. Khushi, it is okay. You are absolutely correct. And with this note, I hope so that you will understand that where you are lagging. And if you still feel that you need some support, you need some guidance, you all are always welcome to write, or you can contact me over phone also. You can write down my landline number. 0120 is the code of Noida. 0120 3045 907. 3045 907. 3045 907. This is my landline number, right? And my email ID also, one or two students are still asking that, ma'am, please. Is it fine? I hope now is it clear to all of you? If you find any kind of support, any kind of guidance related to this paper, you are always welcome. Either you contact on my contact number or you can contact on my mail. If you have queries, you can send it to me. We will definitely revert you. Right? And best of luck, students. Those who are not able to get it. One of the students is asking, ma'am, will there be any revisionary classes as well? That is, no, I'm not sure about that. That the virtual coaching team will tell you. I think that is on YouTube, CHU pay, you can get it. Miss Ashwini is asking that how we can get the virtual coaching classes apart from joining in YouTube and ICAI BOS app. You have to join on mobile app. There is a mobile app also. I hope so that the classes will going on the mobile app also. And a YouTube channel. Any other query, students? If you are having any other doubt, please post your query. So otherwise, I am winding up this session. Okay, with this note, I had tried my level best to try to pose you that the kind of preparation is required for this paper. And I hope it will definitely help you and serve you for that. And otherwise, if anybody is having still any doubts, you can contact me. And from the next session onwards, Mr. Arjit Sethi will take over. I think the next session is on Tuesday. And whatever the content is left, he will take over that content and will do. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, my dear students, for listening me patiently. Thank you, the entire team of virtual coaching classes.